Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new video here today and another episode of my F1 2020 My Team Career Mode. Today we are here for round 3 of the season at the Vietnam Grand Prix, the brand new circuit in Hanoi. But if you guys have missed any of the 2 episodes so far guys, I will leave them linked both in the top right hand corner of your screen, especially the previous one in Bahrain. So go check those out if you have missed them. And guys, one last thing, if you're new to the channel, I've recently hit 40,000 subs. Massive thank you for that guys, and I'm now chasing 50 by the end of the year. So if you could subscribe and help me out, I'd greatly appreciate it. But without further ado, let's get this episode underway. First and foremost then, let's jump into the weekend, and as you can see on screen, we are going to get ready for the race. You can see at the top of the screen, we have 540 R&D points, the team is level 3, and we have 1.61 million saved up, and we're going to be trying to hopefully stack up on cash a little bit in this episode. Actually as well, off air, between episodes, between the last one and this one, I did actually purchase an upgrade to the social media team as one of my driver perks, because that would give us a better driver acclaim. It will boost it by 10%, which I thought would help us out massively, because at the moment Mick is bringing in a lot of points and I'm kind of slacking. And also this weekend we have our first wet race of the season. The race is expected to be pretty damn wet, especially at the start. Heavy rain conditions expected, to be fair. And also upgrade wise, we do have a couple of upgrades in the pipeline, and in terms of the R&D graph, we are still currently just behind Alfa Romeo, but not too far away, so hopefully we can close that gap in the next couple of races. But with that said, we now move into practice here for the first time this weekend, and I've already driven this track before. About a month ago I got given a preview version of the F1 2020 game, and I did a 100% race around here, so it was merely a case of just refreshing my memory, because I already know where I'm going around here. And once I felt comfortable, I tried to get a good setup on the go. And to be fair, we're actually pretty decent around here. Again, 110% AI as always, but to be fair, I was happy with how things were going heading into qualifying. But first of all, an interview.
Who would you say is your biggest rival at the moment?
It took me a while actually to answer this one. You know, I wanted to go quite bold with it and try and get as many acclaim points as possible. But in the end, I actually went for Mr. Romain Grosjean in the Haas. I thought, you know what, I'd go for an easy target, someone who I can definitely beat and get those points. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good choice, to be fair. And after practice, you can see on screen, we actually pulled in a massive amount of points this weekend. 440 for myself, 130 for Mick, so a combined total of 570. And also in terms of the team acclaim, we went up by 12% actually, and we're very close now to level 4, and we are currently chasing level 5, which of course would give us an extra sponsor, so we are getting pretty damn close to that. But we now move into qualifying here at Hanoi for the first time ever, and I'm looking forward to this. You know, even when I got the preview version of the game a month ago, I didn't do a qualifying, it was straight into the race from the back of the grid. So this is my first ever qualifying around this track, so I'm very much looking forward to it. The car actually felt pretty good in practice, so I'm kind of low-key confident, but my first lap was an absolute mess. We completely missed turn 1, ran wide, and then going through the long hairpin, we made an absolute mess of the exit, and that ruined our straight line speed all the way down the back straight, of course, because of that. And then at the end of the straight, into the hairpin, I got the braking completely wrong, and yeah, there was no apex to be found. Error 404, if you will. And yeah, that was going to be the end of a very messy first lap in qualifying. And to be fair, even then, it was still actually quicker than Latifi, for example. So yeah, it kind of proved to me that we had some pace, which was quite encouraging, because with that really bad lap, we still managed to out-qualify Williams. But this was now my best lap of the session, guys, so enjoy it, and I'll get back to you when the lap is over. here we go, out of the final corner, DRS open across the line, and we go P19, a tenth of a second off of the knockout. And to be fair, I was pretty close, and I made an absolute mess of turn 1. You'll see here, I went for a final attempt later on in the session, and the amount of time I found 2.5 tenths through turn 1 and 2 alone. And had I carried that forward, I may have had a chance, but unfortunately, you can see here, we lost a bit of time as the lap went on, and then I made an absolute mess of the hairpin. I tried to push the brakes a bit too much, and we ruined the lap. So I decided to just back off, turn the engine down, and save the engine for future races. So in the end, you can see we now have a rivalry with Romain Grosjean, and he actually beat us in that session. And then also we move into the team acclaim, and we're so close to level 4 now. We are a whisker away, so hopefully we'll achieve that once the race is over. But guys, that is it for qualifying. We're now going to move into the first ever Grand Prix, the first ever wet Grand Prix at Vietnam.
The Formula One circus has arrived in Southeast Asia once more, as we usher in a new era and get ready to go racing here in Vietnam. A lap of Hanoi circuit then, 3.4 miles around the Vietnamese capital, 23 corners and a wet circuit today that will challenge our drivers in each and every one of those turns, as the close barriers loom invitingly on the outside. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are 3 main things to worry about there, Crofty: positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Vettel, Leclerc, Alexander Albon, and Ricciardo, Sainz, Norris, Ocon, and Sergio Perez, Stroll, Raikkonen, Daniel Kvyat, and Giovinazzi. Verstappen, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Gasly, Romain Grosjean, and Kevin Magnussen. Schumacher, Martinez, Russell, and Nicholas Latifi. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So here we are then, guys. It's time for the race at Vietnam. And as you can see, it is raining, intermediate conditions for the race here today. And to be fair, I think I've got the honour of being the first wet race around Vietnam. When I raced the game 2 months ago in a preview build, I did do a 100% race around here, and it was a dry to wet race. But this is starting in the wet conditions, and it's going to be like it all the way through. As we jump over to the race strategy, you can see on screen, the conditions look pretty poor. It looks like it might dry up towards the end, possibly, but we'll see how that one shakes out. Fuel-wise, we're running 0.2 laps extra, very little, as it is these conditions. We don't really need much extra fuel in the car. And I have tweaked the setup for a wet one, so the setup in qualifying was kind of a sacrifice, a bit of an in-between one for dry and wet, and we've now added on a little bit more wing and also opened up the differential a little bit more. So hopefully that will help us out here today, and we can have a pretty decent race car in these conditions. But without further ado, let's get racing, and let's see how we get on in our first ever wet race in this game. Here we go then, boys. It's time for the first ever wet race at Vietnam. And it's lights out and away we go. Oh, what a start. The traction was brilliant through there. We're going to try and go down the middle here, down towards turn 1. Kind of late on the brakes, but also kind of cautious. I think Mick's actually on the outside of us. Yes, he is. We're 3 wide here into turn 1. Alpha Tauri on the outside. That's Pierre Gasly. We are going to get the move on him. And will Mick follow us through? He's still there. We are side by side with our teammate. I'm going to let Mick take that one for now. I don't want to fight our teammate. Don't want to go side by side through here, we'll lose too much time, but it's a great start for both of us. Mick up to P17, we're up to P18, so pretty good stuff actually. And, you know, trying to be aggressive in our car, of course. We've got Russell here coming back at us. Actually, that's Gasly, to be fair, in the Alpha Tauri. We're going to just hold the line and defend the inside through here. That way Pierre won't go for a move as we make our way through this very tricky hairpin section. Got to take a very late apex and then get the power down. Going onto the back straight, there we go. Nice and tidy. keeping the traction very, very clean. Now this hairpin worries me a little bit, I can't lie. I think I'm expecting the AI to go very early on the brakes here, so we may have to take some sort of evasive action, especially in these conditions. Easy does it. We're going to move over to the inside. There's some debris there, some front wings being chopped off. I've been hit from behind. We are going to stay in front crucially though and hang on to P18, but that was a little bit scary. Looks like Mick is actually closing in on the cars ahead. Let's see what this feels like. I've got to kind of adapt first and to get a feel for the track. I need to find out. I think it was an Alfa Romeo who lost a bit of wing in that hairpin section, so I think we'll find out soon enough who that was, but I think it might be the Alfa just in front of Mick, to be fair. Just got to try and get used to these conditions, see how the car feels, and try and build my confidence up. This Alfa's definitely got wing damage, and he actually pits in, so there we go. That's going to give us another position here, which is great. So me and Mick are going to move up to P16 and 17 respectively. Out of 22 runners, that's a pretty good start from us. Definitely our best race so far in terms of positioning in the early laps. Let's get a head down though. Let's see if we can find some pace and get past Mick. I think I might try and get past Schumacher here. We're going to crank it up to overtake mode. No DRS of course in these conditions. We are catching. To be fair, I'm not catching as much as I thought. I think Mick might be running a little bit of engine mode himself, so we'll hang back for now. And we'll just kind of play it safe as a team, but I'm definitely looking to get past already, I think. We're definitely at the limit. Mick is not really closing in on Kvyat, and Gasly's wanting to get past behind, so this is where we're at the minute. I do think that I've got a better pace than Mick, so I'm going to try and get him. This time we are a lot closer here on the back straight. Overtake mode engaged early. Schumacher realises, and he's got his engine turned up pretty much. And it's just a flat out drag race. I've got quite a bit of error on the car as well, which isn't going to help as we go down towards the hairpin. Mick very good on the brakes actually. Couldn't quite compete with that. Through the hairpin, I was trying to get a switch back, but he covered it off well and struggling to get the traction down here. Looks like we're stuck behind my teammate for a little bit at the moment. Can't find a way through. If I can just get a really good exit out of this section, that would be ideal. Short shift into fourth gear. Oh, a little bit of sideways there, but we do get a good exit. This time we're closer. You can see Mick running engine mode once again. I'm going to try and get on the inside. Mick covers it though, he goes defensive. Going to have to try the outside line again. This time we match him on the brakes. Around the outside we go. Is this possible? Trying to get the traction down. We're struggling big time here. A little bit more overtake. We're going to look down the inside, but Schumacher hanging on here. What a battle this is with our teammate. Absolutely insane. Just can't find a way through at the minute, which is really frustrating because I do have a bit more pace to give. I'd love to line up a move through this section, but I just can't see it happening. Unless maybe we get him into the final corner, maybe. That could be an option. I can stay close. Oh, I thought about it. We do just brush our front nose with his rear part of the car, but we're not really close enough. There we go. This is a good exit. This time we're really close. Can we get him this time? We'll switch to the right-hand side. It's a shorter run down to the apex. And there we go. We're in front. Now we can switch to the inside line and defend into the hairpin. We're going to go in very, very narrow here, but it does mean we'll get track position on Mick Schumacher, and there we go, we're through. Job done, nice little move there. Finally, we got there in the end. Right, let's chase down Grosjean now, as we're P16 in this race. I think I've got some pace, actually. I don't want to say it too early, but if we play our cards right, a famous old saying of mine, if we play our cards right, we could potentially get some points today. There we go, personal best by 1.7 seconds. What a difference. Now we're going to see a bit more of our true pace. The gap to Mick is already 1.5 seconds. Oh, these two are battling. The Haas of Grosjean and the AlphaTauri of Kvyat. Kvyat's been trying to get through now for a few laps and he just can't get by. We know we're quicker than the Haas. Hamilton 51.3. Looks like the pace is improving. The conditions are improving a little bit. It was heavy rain at the start. Seems like the rain is lightening up a little bit because we're on for a personal best as well. We're only a second off the leader's pace, I think, on a clean lap, so we're doing pretty well actually. These conditions suit us around here. The setup risk has paid off as we've got a good pace in these conditions across the line. We do improve marginally, but again, it's back-to-back personal bests. And we've got to try and find a way past both of these guys. Gasly's got past Schumacher as well, for good measure. Let's see if we can do anything here on this back straight. And, you know, the car in front, Kvyat has an Honda power unit, so it should be easier to pass than my teammate. Grosjean, on the other hand, will be a bit trickier, of course, with that Ferrari power unit. At the minute, though, no real progress being made. We're in a double slipstream here, so it's making it very hard for me to gain at all on these guys. It's going to get even more hard now once Pierre arrives, because we're going to be defending and attacking at the same time. If I can get past Kvyat, I'm confident I can get past the next two cars, because it's both of the Haas cars, so we could be quite high up actually.
Rain's easing off a bit, but the track is still going to be wet for a while.
Yeah, the conditions are improving, track's getting quicker, but obviously we'll be in these conditions now for the rest of the race. Oof, locking the rears into there. Trail braking, 101. If I can just get the perfect exit and be right underneath Kvyat's gearbox on the exit here, I may have a chance. But I just can't get that last bit of traction that I need. And then the gap is too big. Tyre wear, 37 on both rears. Temperatures look fine, so we're not too shabby to be fair. I wonder if Kvyat could challenge Grosjean, maybe open up a window of opportunity for us. That'd be pretty good. Uh-oh, I'm running this in a bit hot on the brakes here. I've got to be careful. Had to turn out the corner there just to open up the line. No way through though for now. Every lap now, I'm so close on the exit. This is pretty good. But the slipstream from Grosjean is making it impossible for me to pass Kvyat. It really is. And Kvyat can't make a move on Grosjean either. So it's literally just a double block at the moment.
Okay, the weather's certainly eased off for the time being, but we've still got a lot of standing water out there. We're happy for you to stay out on the inters for now.
Yeah, the conditions are improving. I don't think we can string this out to dries. We're going to have to pit for another set of inters, and the undercut could prove key to get past both of these guys. So I'm keeping an eye on the weather for sure, because this undercut could help our race out massively. I'm still optimistic of passing these guys. It's just the question of where can I pass. This final corner is tempting, but I just can't get close enough. Oh, lock up from Kvyat there, a bit of a mistake from him. We're scheduled to pit lap 14. I'm going to be real. I might just go in next lap. I might try and undercut a lap early. I'm thinking this lap, but then I'm concerned I might not make it to the end because the tyre wear is pretty high actually on the rears. So we'll start for one more, but next lap we'll do opposite of car in front. So even if just one of them stays out or one of them pits, we'll respond accordingly. But at the minute we can't get past Kvyat, so we've got to focus on him first. Looks like Grosjean's just pulling out a little bit of a gap at the moment. Gasly now is on the back of us. Okay, this time we might have a chance. Kvyat's a little bit further back from Grosjean, but now he's starting to pull him in. We're going to pit this lap, so that's the aim. I'm expecting both of these guys to stay out one more lap. I'm kind of hoping they do, to be honest. And we should rejoin in clean air, and hopefully we'll get an undercut. All right, let's see what happens here. They both stay out, undercut time. We're going to take a chance. We need a big stop from the boys. I really think I've got pace for at least P13. Raikkonen, who's that Alfa Romeo a little bit further up the road, we've got pace to beat him. I really do think so. The rain is actually going to dry up in 5 to 10 minutes, but I'm expecting all of the AI to pit. If they don't, this is going to backfire massively, but I am expecting all of them to come in. I don't think they'll make the inters last. We need a massive outlap though. Absolutely key.
Go now.
It's a great stop, 2.6, exactly what we want. If I can rejoin ahead of Russell, just in front of us.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
Okay, so we're just stuck behind Russell. That's not ideal, but we'll use the fresh rubber to get by pretty quickly. We'll get him on the back straight, hopefully. We need a big lap here, absolutely massive. Key moment of the race. We'll close up to Russell naturally here with the fresh tyres and the grip difference. Can I go down the inside of him here? Yes, we can. I'm going to take this one down the inside. There we go. Wasting no time. Away we go. Big rest of the lap.
Okay, clear.
Yellow flag behind. Oh no, there's a VSC or something. This is going to ruin my strategy. This isn't good. It's behind us. Not sure who it is, but it's not going to help. into the hairpin. Let's try and use the traction here to set some good pace. I can feel the difference in the rear tyres. The rain is drying up already quite a lot, to be fair. And the Latifi's out, confirmation. Here we go, full power on the pit straight. This is going to be really, really close. Get it slowed down for turn 1. There's Raikkonen. We're going to rejoin just behind him, hopefully. Yes, there we go. The undercut works. We're ahead of Grosjean, and he was ahead of Kvyat, so undercut doing an absolute treat for us. Beautiful stuff. And Raikkonen's right there, so we can definitely hunt him down, I think. Alright, game on. I can smell some points. It could happen. You never know. Purple sector 1. That's how fast we are on the fresh rubber. Absolute flying. Even on 110% AI, we are flying around it. Interesting. Mick into the pit lane now. So the rain should be going to dry very soon. But then it's a question of how quick does the last part of the track dry out. That's another question. We're 2.5 seconds up here. Could we set a new fastest lap? That would be historic for us as a team. Yes, we do. There it is. Frame it. Drink it in. In our third race, we've managed to set a purple lap in an F1 race. Of course, that's going to get smashed now by all the faster guys on fresh inters. But we're going to have it.
The track will be drying out quite soon. Mind you don't burn out your tyres.
That's a key period now. In past
in the pits. Mick in the pits.
In past F1 games, I've been pretty good on my tyres, especially when it's more on the heavier rain side of things in the inters. But when it goes to the drier conditions, I struggle on inters. I tend to overheat them a bit and burn them out. So it's something I need to try and improve upon and manage a bit better. But in the meantime, let's see if we can get past Kimi here. I don't have a load of VRS. I've used quite a lot to close up to him, so I think we'll struggle to get by it. If not, again, we'll wait for the undercut. We'll try and pass him in the pit lane under strategy maybe. Because I'm out of VRS already, really. I've got 20% left. I'd like to keep a little bit in reserve, just in case. And there goes our fastest lap. To be fair, Lewis only beat it by 0.3 of a second. So good pace from us. Really good lap last time around. Happy with that. I wonder if I can get Kimi this lap, but right on his gearbox this time. Going through here. Power down. Kimi uses overtake. We're going to have to use ours. I don't think I've got enough. That's the problem. I think I might run out of juice. If we don't, this is our only attempt because I'm going to have to charge my battery up after. We're already out of juice as it is. We're not nowhere near close enough, so looks like we're going to have to sit behind Kimi for a little bit. It might come down to the switch to drier tyres possibly because I need to charge my battery up now quite a lot and I might lose a bit of pace because of it. Well, the rain has now stopped, so we're running on a drying track. 10 laps to go. I think the chances are pretty high that we'll probably be on the drier tyre by the end of the race. The question is, do we take a gamble and stick it out on inters maybe? Or the other way around, will it dry up enough that the AI stay out on the inters and we gamble it on dryers? Could be tasty this. I'm going to try and pass Kimi this time. I've saved up enough ERS, but I've messed that up a little bit. We can keep it in high engine mode all the way down the straight if we need to. Let's see, I'm a little bit far back, and it is versus a Ferrari power unit. I've saved a bit of fuel in case we go to dryers, and I can use that fuel as attack. I just can't make any inroads at all on that Ferrari power unit on the straight. It's so damn quick. It's so difficult. I need DRS to have any chance to get past Kimi on the straight. Even the Haas wasn't this hard to get by. Oh, this time. This could be it. We're a little bit closer, and I'm just kind of within that slipstream range where even with a Ferrari power unit, we're having a sniff. Could this be the one? Kimi goes defensive. We're going very wide at the hairpin. We're going to have to go the long way around. But there's more momentum. There's more water out there. There's more grip. As the track is starting to dry up. And there we go. We've got the legs on him. And we're going to get ahead. Heading into the final sector. Down the inside we go. And there we go. Finally, we're through.
The situation is an interesting one, but I think the right call is to stick with what we've got right now.
This is so tricky now. The track has really dried up as well. So this switch over to dries is going to be so key. There's still a bit too much spray, I think, for my liking, so we're going to hang out for another lap at least. Again, I'm not quite sure when to time it on this game. It's my first time, so it's all new to me. This is the lap. This is it.
Copy.
Alright, we're going to box for soft tyres. Bit too far to go and like gamble it to stay out to the end on these, so we'll pit for the soft tyres. We've got the last pit box, which is going to help us out a lot because it means no one will hold us up. Just got to nurse this back to the pit lane now, nice and steadily. The leaders have had to stay out as well, so they're going to lose out quite a bit on this lap, to be fair. And let's see how many of the number 2 drivers have to go out for another lap, because we may benefit from that as well. So we could get points here. This could be a key point.
Stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online.
Yep, I've got a wing change adjustment enabled. So yeah, like I said, this could be key because, for example, both racing points can't pit. One of them had to stay out, and that could be the case for a lot of teams further up here. So if we have a strong outlap, we could potentially go high up the grid here.
Nick is coming in for his stop. Some information on Russell. They are out of the race. Full course caution. The safety car is out. Keep an eye on the Delta. We need to keep it positive to avoid a penalty.
Oh
Slow down,
my God.
maintain positive Delta. Exit now. You'll be racing as you leave the pits. Go, go, go. Pits.
We've got a safety car.
See these tyres through to the end now. Okay, slow down, slow down. Your Delta is negative, which means you are too fast. Reduce your pace.
So wait, we've got a safety car. Oh my goodness me, hang on a minute.
Overtake the safety car. You may overtake the safety car. It is waiting to pick up the leader.
This could be incredible. Hang on a minute, let's see what happens here. I've got to stick to the Delta, which is a shame, but the second my Delta goes, I'm going to get on with it. But this could be a key moment here. So we're going to have a little look at the retirement here, and it's George Russell in the Williams who suddenly slows down on the back straight, and I'm guessing it's some kind of component failure. But that's a bad one for Williams because, of course, Latifi retired earlier on in the Grand Prix, so 2 retirements in this race for them, and it just goes to show how key and important durability is in this career mode, and that's exactly what we have got. We've got a lot of durability in the car, and that is helping us out massively, and this one, of course, did trigger the safety car. So a really key moment in the race. Is there any smoke coming out the back of the Williams? I want to see if we can get a shot of it, because it sounds like it isn't, because normally the engines make a bit of a rumbling sound. This sounds more like an electronic failure, and there is no smoke. So yeah, some kind of other failure for the Williams. But either way, that is now both Williams cars out of the Vietnam Grand Prix. Okay, the Delta's gone. Let's push. Big final sector here. Conditions are not great, but we need to push on. This is where we'll make up some time with people in the pit lane and also cars under Delta. Just got to push as if it was like normal racing speed here. We've got all the remaining intermediate drivers pitting for slicks. Can we get any benefit out of this? Let's find out. Please be someone. Okay, Perez is there, but I think he's going to leave the pit exit in time. Yes, he is. Damn it, I don't think we're going to get anything, which is a shame. I actually think the safety car may have just come at the wrong time, which is a real hammer blow. So with P13, soft tyres to the finish is going to be a massive sprint. Obviously now we're going to struggle for pace in these conditions, but listen, if we can finish 13th again, 3 in a row, lucky number 13 it might have to be. You know, I might have to rename it. Oh my God, Bottas disqualified. What's happened there? I have to catch a replay of that after the race. But that's going to give us P12. Oh my goodness me. You never know. It could happen this race. Future Tom here, and I want to mention that unfortunately I went into the replay cams and I couldn't get the part where Bottas got disqualified, because due to the disqualification, the way the replay cameras work, when a driver is DNF or disqualified sometimes, if it's a bit of a weird one or, you know, dubious circumstances, the game doesn't allow you to ride on board with them. They kind of disappear. Even though you can see them from other cars, they disappear. So I wasn't able to get an actual onboard angle of it, but basically Bottas clipped the safety car. He tapped it. It was with the pit exit. It was a bit confusing, but basically Bottas leaving the pit lane, he clipped the safety car, and that disqualified him from the race. I've not even done a full racing lap yet, and it's just been trying to catch up to the safety car, and my rears are already on 10%. I've had to use my tyres up a lot more than I expected. Either way, we're here now. One more lap under safety car, I'm guessing, and then next lap, safety car in. Alright, here we go then. It's time for the restart. My first ever safety car restart here at Vietnam. This is going to be very, very interesting. Let's just get ready here. Feeling confident. I think the target really is to hold on to P12 rather than get points, but you never know. You never know. Just waiting for the green flag here as we go through what would be the penultimate corner, now into the final corner. Looks like now we're going to go. Issue is now that AI are going to be fully up to speed because of their coding. I'm not used to the dry conditions, so I'm going to take a lap to get used to it at least. Need to remember my braking points from qualifying. We may drop off like a stone, to be honest. I brushed the wall there. Luckily for us, no wing damage, but I've messed up my line through this entire section. We're doing okay though, we're hanging in there. She's got some pace, the 97.001, if you will. There is a frantic battle going on for best of the rest here. I think Verstappen's in that, so it's causing trouble. We're going to go around the outside here of Perez. We had a little look, wasn't quite close enough, but it's still 3 wide up ahead.
We pretty much burned off our excess fuel.
Oh my
We'll
God.
be back on target soon. Don't wait too long to turn the engine down.
We're ahead of Perez, side by side through here. Surely not on the last lap. Perez goes around the outside. Had to back off. Oh, we had a chance of points, I think. Down the inside, I had a look, but no way through. That was so intense, side by side through that final part on the last lap. But there we go, P12. It's a new highest finish, but still not quite points.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
Oh! Yes! Yes! Points, come on! Yes!
Here we are then, a fantastic Vietnam Grand Prix, and what a performance it was from our race winners today. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, they played the safety car to absolute perfection. There are so many factors to worry about once the race is neutralised. I mean, do you hit the fresh rubber? Do you have the space behind you? How much fuel can you save? If you answer all of those questions correctly, you'll have a good chance. And that's exactly what happened today.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
Yes, boys, we got the points. Let's go. First point ever for 97 Racing F1 team. We worked so hard for that one. The pace in the wet conditions was perfect. The setup sacrifice, prioritizing the race worked out beautifully, and it really paid off in the end. We scored our first World Championship point. What a race. You know, rain, safety car, first point, first everything really, because it was my first wet race and my first safety car. What a crazy Grand Prix, and it was only the 3rd race of the season. Oh my goodness me. Guys, if that doesn't deserve at least a like, I don't know what does. But oh man, I'm sweating, I'm tired, but it was worth it. Every single move in that race proved to be key. The undercut was the key moment in the race, and we got ahead of 2 cars, and that allowed us to get behind Kimi and make the move. So some really key moments in there, and it all worked out beautifully. I'm really, really happy, guys. We score a point. That is insane. Let's see who got the penalty. And I think it's Perez and Norris. Yeah, Perez and Norris. And Schumacher got P17 in the end. So yeah, unfortunately, Schumi got overtaken by a few people, to be fair, in the pit stop phase. And in terms of the standings, though, let's have a little look. And we're into the top half, kind of, of the table. I mean, you can see my name at the bottom, so I don't have to scroll down, which is a good sign. We're equal on points with Danny Kvyat, who has 1 point for them. And then it's all the 0 pointers behind us. So very happy. Really, really just ecstatic with that. And finally, the constructor standings, we overtake Alfa Romeo, and we now have 1 point, just like Scuderia Alfa Tauri. So the next target is to overtake them and become the 7th quickest team. So really awesome. What a day, what a race. Guys, like, subscribe, but we're now going to move into the laptop and put on some upgrades for the following races.
You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy?
To be fair, the car was pretty good. I think it was nimble, light, and can run rings around everyone else.
Your team must be ecstatic with how you're performing.
I mean, the team will be ecstatic, but I'm the boss, so ultimately it's up to me, and I'm very happy. So yeah, I think we're gonna say we do it, you know, for the smiles and all the faces, everyone that's working hard, of course.
Things were close between you and your rival, but it looks like you're coming up top, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think rivalries do bring out the best in, you know, drivers.
How do you feel the weather affected the outcome today?
It changed strategies, but the top drivers still performed the best. I think that's pretty fair. I mean, Hamilton, you know, the Ferraris, they're all up there, so
appreciate your time.
Okay, so here we are then back on the main menu. We have 1,230 R&D points. The team as a whole is now level 4, so we are getting very close to that third sponsor. And we have 2.22 million, so quite a lot of cash flow now. We are going to be investing that very soon. Looking at the activities, we are going to assign a few. We have an invitational event on the 10th, so I might just do that off air, off stream. So overall, we've got about 9 days until the next race. So actually, we've got quite a nice gap to do some things. So first and foremost, I think we're going to do some work on the durability. It's our strongest department, I believe, and I want to keep that up because it's going to be key long term this season, I feel like. So yeah, we're going to do that straight away. We're going to assign those activities. And then beyond that, looking at the options, we've got some weight training, which would help the pace. That's a driver-specific thing. Attend F1 Esports event. That'd be pretty sick, to be fair. That's a nice one. I'm a big fan of that one. We've got a sponsor event, power equipment upgrade, and aero team building. All of these are quite tempting. I might go for the power equipment upgrade because we've only got 5 days. So what we can do is we can do this one. And then for the next one, we can do aero team building. So we can do both of those and squeeze those in after the invitational event. So those are our activities. We've assigned those, which is great. And we're now going to look at some facilities. Now, we do have enough cash to upgrade some of these now. You can see some of them are a little bit more expensive. Some of them are a little bit cheaper. I am tempted to spend some money. But what we'll do is we'll save a little bit more because I feel like if I buy one of these, what's going to happen is it's going to leave me a very, very slim budget. And, you know, once you pay wages and you pay the staff and whatever, you're going to be left with no money. So I'd rather not go in debt if possible. So we'll give it one more race and we'll kind of upgrade as we push along because the running cost is quite expensive. So we'll go to the R&D tree and we'll put some upgrades. So we had a fouled power unit upgrade for this race. So that will arrive for the next one. We'll develop that in standard. That should arrive for the next race, hopefully in time. So we're going to add to that though. Because we have empty departments, so chassis needs some work, therefore we're going to work on the front end of the car. We could do aero, to be fair. Let me see where we are. We're kind of lower in the mid-table, whereas chassis we're towards the bottom, so really we need some chassis work to be done. So we'll crank that on and stick that on the car, and that is it really. 2 upgrades. Hopefully one of them will arrive for the next race. The other one will be for the Dutch Grand Prix. And yeah, you can see it in the progress tab. We've got a few things in the pipeline. So gradually we are improving. And then obviously now we need to start looking at the bigger picture here and improving certain departments, which is going to be a big, big step forward. And we're also really, really close to that next sponsor now, level 5. So we're nearly there. And once we get that, we'll get in more weekly income. That will increase even more and we can really start to push on. So yeah, guys, that is going to be it from me here today. If you guys enjoyed this episode of my career mode, or the My Team career mode, should I say, then drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it, guys. And subscribe if you are new for daily Formula 1 content on the channel and, you know, tips and tricks and that kind of stuff I've done already, hot laps, wheel settings, camera settings videos. So if you haven't seen them, guys, check them out on my channel. But yeah, guys, like, subscribe. I'm trying to hit 50,000 subs, so any help would be greatly appreciated. Notifications on to not miss any videos. And finally, check out the 2 videos right now on your screen if you have missed them. But that is it from me here today, and I'll see you all next time for round number 4 for what I believe will be the Chinese Grand Prix. But until then, it's goodbye from me. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.